Not so long ago, GM officials claimed that they would beat Tesla by 2025 in terms of EV sales numbers. But quickly enough, it became obvious that GM's electrification is going to take a little bit more time than expected. And for that reason, the list of upcoming models for next year isn't as some expected, and brings a good portion of internal combustion powered vehicles as well. Stay with us to find out more about the GM CEO's revealing 7 new car models for 2024 and shocking the automotive world. Number 7. Chevrolet Corvette SUV. It may seem like a sacrilege, but that's what supercar makers do nowadays. They build SUVs to survive. Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Aston Martin all have vehicles with increased ground clearance. So why wouldn't Chevy do the same with the Corvette? The new model is already in development, depending on the size Chevy decides to go with. And while the aesthetics will undoubtedly mimic the original sports cars, the powertrain range will definitely depend on the footprint. If the company decides to go with a compact crossover, then the offer could start already with a Turbo 4 engine. In the case of mid-sized dimensions, we presume that the offer would start with something a little bit bigger, like a V6. But in both cases, the top of the offer will be reserved for 8 cylinders. Some sources suggest a range-topping version equipped with the same variant of the good old 6.2-liter V8 that can be found in the high-performance Escalade, with a max output of 682 horsepower. Besides performance, this Corvette will also bring all the benefits that come with an SUV body style, including a spacious 5-seat interior, higher ground clearance, and more. As for the price, base models would be available already at around $60,000. Number 6. GMC Cyclone. Pickup trucks are getting more expensive every year, so it's no surprise that so many buyers are turning to smaller and cheaper alternatives like Ford Maverick. The segment of compact pickups is still new, so most of the car makers are still working on their new models for this class. GMC is one of them, and just like rivals, it has a couple of trump cards that could potentially attract more buyers. One of them is the nameplate, as the company plans to revive the famous Cyclone. Back in the day, this was by far the most exciting pickup truck on the market, with a supercar-level performance. The new model, however, probably won't be that capable. We expect it to be more focused on efficiency and practicality. The latter also suggests that, unlike the original, the new iteration won't be offered as a single-cab pickup, as crew cab models are way more desirable these days. The other trump card is the platform. While other compact pickups feature unibody design, heavily based on crossovers, the GMC Cyclone might come with a more conventional design approach, riding on a body-on-frame platform. This means that, although small, the new GMC's pickup would offer superior towing capacity, which is probably the weakest point of, otherwise, smartly designed compact unibody pickups. Number 5. Cadillac Escalade IQ. 25 years ago, Cadillac launched the Escalade, a model that represents a synergy of power and luxury, something that has been the brand's most prestigious model in the last few decades. And now, it's time for a modern-era Escalade, for one with electric motors and batteries. When you look at the Escalade IQ, there are no significant differences regarding the overall shape and look. On the other hand, the face looks similar to other all-electric models in the lineup and clearly indicates that there are some batteries underneath the floor. Speaking of batteries, the all-electric Escalade will come with a massive 200 kilowatt-hour battery pack. And while the max range is yet to be disclosed, various sources suggest it could go all the way up to 450 miles. And thanks to the advanced Ultium battery technology, the new SUV will feature a 350 kilowatt charging rate, which in practice means adding 100 miles of range in just 10 minutes. The Escalade IQ will be equipped with a couple of electric motors, with around 650 horsepower in regular mode. But the new SUV will also feature the Velocity Max drive mode, which unlocks a peak power of 750 horsepower, enough to move this super heavy SUV from 0 to 60 in a little bit over 4 seconds. Besides impressive acceleration, the new Escalade will also offer a respectable towing capacity of up to 8,000 pounds, only 200 lower compared to the gas version. The only problem is that the Cadillac Escalade IQ will cost nearly $100,000 in the most basic variant. Number 4. GMC Sierra EV. After Silverado, Sierra is also getting the all-electric version. GMC's popular pickup will bring a similar overall design, but with all those extra bits that usually come with the GMC badge. In this case, we are getting a slightly more luxurious pickup, which comes only in a crew cab layout, with a cargo bed that's a little bit under 6 feet long. And just like many other all-electric models in GM's lineup, this one will also come in the range-topping version first, the most luxurious and most capable. The initial model is coming as the Denali Edition 1, and it will cost nearly $109,000. For that money, you will get a super luxurious interior design, with an elegant dashboard, fine materials, and a massive infotainment screen on the center stack. But we presume you're more interested in what's under the skin. Of course, the truck features Ultium battery technology, with a massive 200 kilowatt-hour pack and a max range that should go up to 400 miles, and with a 350 kilowatt charging rate that should ensure 100 miles of range to be added in just 10 minutes. This particular version will feature a max output of 754 horsepower and will be able to hit 60 in about 4.5 seconds, while the towing capacity will go around 9,500 pounds. More basic versions are expected to arrive in 2025. Number 3. GMC Acadia. Although rather redesigned than an all-new model, the Acadia brings significant changes for the next year. The new generation is here, with massive updates, starting from the new 2.5-liter Turbo 4 engine with a max output of 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque, which is a nice upgrade over the old V6, especially when it comes to max twist. The transmission is also new, just like the cabin, which brings a way more elegant dashboard design with better build quality, finer materials, and a couple of massive screens, including a 15-inch infotainment system. But the most important change is definitely the size. The new generation is significantly bigger, with a 10.6-inch longer wheelbase compared to the outgoing model. In other words, the Acadia is now as big as the Traverse, which means way more space in the third row and in the cargo area. Also worth mentioning is the new AT4, with a notable off-road performance upgrade compared to the previous generation. Increased ground clearance, upgraded suspension, skid plates, and a terrain drive mode are some of the highlights. As for the price, the next generation Acadia is expected to get a little bit more expensive than the outgoing model, which starts at a little bit over $38,000. Number 2. Chevrolet Malibu. Crossovers and SUVs may have taken over the market, but models like Honda Accord and Toyota Camry continue to prove that there's still room for a couple of good old sedans. Of course, Chevy wants a piece of that cake as well, so it doesn't surprise that GM officials have recently announced one more generation of Malibu. The new model will arrive in the next year, and it will retain the same four-door sedan layout. However, it will be based on a completely new VSSF platform and bring many improvements over the current model, which has been around since 2016 and definitely feels outdated in some aspects, especially when it comes to the interior design, which is expected to get a much finer treatment in the next generation. Not all things are known about the new model at the moment, but we are pretty sure that Chevy needs to offer something more capable under the hood to compete with Japanese rivals. The current 1.5-liter Turbo 4 definitely needs more power, while we also expect to see something bigger and more capable in higher trim levels. Number 1. Chevy Avalanche. The way we look at pickup trucks these days is notably different compared to just a few decades ago. Today, pickup trucks aren't just about utility. They're also about luxury and convenience. So bringing back a model like Chevy Avalanche is definitely something we are looking forward to. Back in the day, this was a comfort-oriented vehicle that combined pickup body style with more refined design characteristics from an SUV. That's exactly what we expect to see from the new model. Once again, the Avalanche would feature a cargo bed that's not separated from the cabin on the frame, but rather integrated. Also, it would bring a more refined suspension setup than Silverado and put more focus on comfort and driving experience. On the inside, we expect a modern design, full of comfort and luxury features, while the famous mid-gate design will also be back, with the ability to increase bed capacity significantly. On the other hand, we don't expect surprises under the hood, but rather a couple of familiar V8s and maybe an efficient inline-6 turbo diesel on offer. The all-new Avalanche could arrive already in late 2024 or early 2025. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.